He woke, gasped. Silence, not the comforting kind. This silence was thick, heavy. It pressed on him, suffocated him. He sat up, heart hammering. Where was he? The last thing he remembered, the labs, the sirens, the blinding light. He was in a chamber of some kind, metal walls, cold and damp, a single flickering light overhead. He stood, legs shaking, and walked to a cracked window. Outside the world was a wasteland. Twisted metal skeletons reached for the sky. Dust swirled in the wind. No trees, no birds, no life. His breath hitched in his throat. How long? How long had he been out? He stumbled back, hand flying to his chest as if to hold his heart in. Panic welled up, choking him. He was alone. Utterly alone in a dead world. He sank to his knees, the weight of it crushing him. His gaze fell on a calendar hanging askew on the wall. The date jumped out at him, 2524. 500 years. 500 years he'd been asleep, entombed in this metal coffin. He was a relic, a fossil, the last echo of a world long gone. Days bled into weeks. He scavenged for food, for tools, for anything to make sense of this new reality. The silence was broken only by the howling wind and the scuttling of something. He saw them in the shadows, quick glimpses of grotesque shapes. They were drawn to him, their eyes glowing with a malevolent hunger. One night he saw it, a figure perched atop a crumbling building, silhouetted against the blood-red moon. A clown. But not the jolly kind from birthday parties. This one was different. Its eyes burned with an unholy light, a manic grin plastered on its white face. It didn't move, just watched him. He felt a chill crawl down his spine. This was no ordinary creature. He tried to outrun it, tried to lose himself in the labyrinthine ruins of the city. But it was always there, lurking at the edge of his vision, a constant, terrifying presence. He soon realized it wasn't trying to hurt him. Not yet anyway. It was toying with him, herding him, leading him somewhere. He learned to live with the fear, with the constant threat of the creatures and the ever-present gaze of the clown. He had to survive. He had to understand. He was starting to believe he was put here for a reason, that he was meant to find a way out of this nightmare. He found a journal tucked away in the ruins of a library. It belonged to a scientist, one of the ones who had worked on the project that had put him under. The entries spoke of a virus, a plague that was ravaging the planet. They had created him, the scientist wrote, a genetically modified human, immune to the virus. He was their last hope. The clown led him to a massive underground facility, untouched by the ravages of time. He descended, the air growing colder, the smell of chemicals stinging his nostrils. Inside, he found rows upon rows of cryogenic pods, all empty except one. He knew with a sinking heart who was inside. The clown, its grin wider than ever, gestured towards the pod. Its eyes seemed to burn brighter, its presence more intense. He understood. The clown wasn't his enemy. It was a guide, a protector, a shepherd leading him to his destiny. It was time to wake her up. S1. Her name was Eve. The scientist's journal had called her that. The mother of a new world. She was strong, resourceful, and just as terrified of this new world as he was. They were two souls adrift in a sea of monsters, clinging to each other for comfort, for hope. They ventured out together, the clown always watching, always protecting. They cleared a section of the city, making it their sanctuary. They planted seeds they found in an abandoned seed vault, coaxing life back into the barren earth. He taught her about the world before, about the laughter of children, the warmth of the sun, the taste of fresh rain. They weren't alone. He found others, survivors hiding in the shadows, their spirits broken by years of fear and loneliness. He brought them back to the sanctuary, to the safety of the light. The clown, once a symbol of terror, became their guardian, a beacon of hope in the darkness. Years passed. The sanctuary flourished. Children were born, their laughter echoing through the once silent streets. The city, rebuilt with the technology they found in the underground facility, rose from the ashes. The world was healing, reborn from the seeds of hope they had planted. He watched it all from the balcony of his home, Eve by his side. The clown sat on a swing set nearby, its painted smile oddly comforting. They had done it. They had survived. They had rebuilt. He looked down at his hands, calloused and scarred. These were the hands of a builder, a survivor, a father. He was no longer the last man. He was the first of a new generation, a generation that would never know the horrors of the past, a generation that would inherit the resilience of the human spirit, the will to survive, the power of hope. And as he closed his eyes, he knew that even in the darkest of times, humanity would find a way to rise again.